In this video, we'll discuss about Mendelian genetics. You all know that Gregor John Mendel is referred as a father of genetics. We'll see why Mendel is considered as a father of genetics or what is his contribution towards the field of genetics, which was a new branch of biology during then, or how he dedicated his life towards breeding experiment and postulated many laws based on that in this video. Mendel was born during 22nd July 1822, that is approximately 200 years before. Initially, he was a priest in a monastery. Later, he became a teacher in a high school where he taught life science and mathematics for the high school student. It is during 1856 that he got interest towards the breeding of garden pea plant, which is also known as Pisum sativum. Pisum sativum, that is garden pea plant. So he conducted breeding and crossing experiment on Pisum sativum or garden pea plant for a period of 8 years over 10,000 plants. And based on the result, he postulated many laws, which was a milestone in the field of genetics. But unfortunately, his work did not attract any recognition for several reasons until his death. It's later during 1900, three other scientists known as Carl Corazon, Eric von Seymour and Georg Rice, who rediscovered Mendel work, and they gave tribute or credit to the Mendel work. It is only after the rediscovery of Mendel's work, his work was greatly accepted by all the biologists. And the reason for the success of Mendel work is he employed certain procedure in his breeding experiment. We'll discuss those points which is responsible for the success of Mendel work one by one. First one is selection of a distinctive character. As I already told, Mendel did crossing or breeding experiment on Pisum sativum or garden pea plant. So obviously garden pea plant will be having n number of phenotype or the character. So out of those character, Mendel chose only 7 character. And all the 7 character that is chosen in the Pisum sativum had distinctive character. Distinctive character means it has opposing forms or contrasting forms. We'll discuss the meaning of this distinctive character by taking the 7 character. First one is stem height. So obviously if you consider a plant, height of the plant is one of the phenotype or the character. So he took stem height as a character, and this character had distinctive forms or opposing forms. That is, some plants were tall and some plants were dwarf. So one can easily differentiate between the tall and dwarf, which is the two forms of the character stem height. So some plants were very tall, some plants were very dwarf. Second character is flower position, which represents the position of the flower. And two forms of this character is axillary and terminal. Axillary means flower which is present at the lateral sides of the plant, whereas terminal means flower which is present to the tip of the plant or terminal position. Again, these two are the contrasting form which can be easily distinguished, or there will not be any ambiguity or confusion in identifying the forms of this character. Third one is flower color. So few flowers of the Pisum sativum were purple color and few were white color. Again, one can easily differentiate between these two forms of the character. Fourth one is pod shape, and the two contrasting forms of this character is inflated and constricted. That is, some pods of the Pisum sativum had a flat surface which represents the inflated form, and some of them were constricted. That is, their surface was not flat, instead it is constricted. Next one is pod color, color of the pod. So some of the pods were green in color and some were yellow in color. Again, it can be easily distinguished. Next one is seed shape. So inside the pod there will be seeds, and the shape of the seeds, some seeds were round shaped, completely round shaped, and some were wrinkled or they are irregularly shaped. And the last character is seed color. So some seeds were yellow in color and some seeds were green in color. And all the character that he chose for his experiment had contrasting forms. So one form of the character can be easily distinguished from the other form. So there will not be any ambiguity or confusion while recognizing the character of the plant. Second one is selection of true breeding varieties. As I already told, Mendel chose 7 characters of Pisum sativum for his experiment. And all the 7 characters that he chose had contrasting forms. So total he selected 14 varieties or forms of Pisum sativum. And all these 14 varieties which he selected for his experiment were true breeding varieties. True breeding varieties means plant having stable character. So if you grow that particular plant for several generations, the character will be same or it will be stable. For example, if you take a stem height character, so if you grow a tall plant for several generations like first generation, second generation, third generation and so on, in all the succeeding generation, you will get the all tall plant only. So there will not be dwarf plant or plant having intermediate height. So all the plants will be tall plant. Then you can conclude that this is a true breeding variety. So you can imagine the work that is done by the Mendel, because for all his experiment, he selected true breeding varieties. So to conclude that it is a true breeding varieties or not, he should grow it for several generations. So it will not be written on the plant. So he selected all true breeding varieties of Pisum sativum for his experiment. Third point is controlled fertilization. Mendel in his experiment, he did controlled fertilization or cross-pollination. Normally, Pisum sativum or garden pea plant will self-pollinate because they are monoecious plant. Monoecious plant means both male and female reproductive part will be present in same flower. So it will self-pollinate to produce seeds. But Mendel in this experiment, he did controlled fertilization and he did cross-pollination by following the procedure of emasculation. Emasculation means it's a procedure in which male reproductive part or stamen will be removed from the flower before it attains maturity. For example, consider flower A, and from the flower A, stamen will be removed before it attains maturity. Later, the pollen from the flower B will be transferred to the pistil of the flower A. So, after the transfer of pollen from B to A, the petals of the A will be placed back to the normal place and the A flower will be covered by the paper bag or the cloth bag to avoid the contamination of the pistil of A with the other pollen. So that is how exactly emasculation procedure is done to do the controlled fertilization. So Mendel did the same procedure for all his experiment. Fourth one is pedigree record. Mendel, he kept an accurate record of everything in his experiment. A recording includes the phenotype of the parental plant or the appearance of the parental plant, number of offspring produced in the next generation, appearance of the offspring that is produced or the phenotype of the offspring that is produced, again the offspring that is produced in the second generation and its phenotype. So he kept the data or the record of everything in his each and every experiment. So which is one of the main criteria for his success. Fifth one is inheritance of only one character at a time. Mendel in his experiment, he selected only one character at a time and he studied the inheritance of that particular character. So though he chose 7 characters from the Pisum sativum or garden pea plant and all the 7 characters will be present in each and every experiment, but he concentrated only on one character. For example, if you consider a flower color as a character, he concentrated only on color of the flower in that particular experiment, though all other characters are present in the plant. Later in his studies, he studied the inheritance of 2 characters together also. So that is regarding the different character that he chose for his experiment and the reason for the success of the Mendel's work. Thank you.